What's going on, guys? I want to go over some branded Chimera combos. This is my latest deck profile. This is the one that I did just top a regional with. I think this list is very good. I'm a little biased towards it. I will spoil this. I'm not playing hand traps in this approach, but this is mainly just a combo guide, so that doesn't really matter for this. But if you want to see the deck profile, you can go back to my other video. So I want to start off just with the normal one card combo. So any card that can get you to this. So Cornfield Codal, Nightmare Apprentice, those all get you to this. Also Branded Fusion can get you to this. Except the Branded Fusion line is a little stronger. So first off, we'll start with this one. You'll normal summon this. Effect, tributes for cost to special summon this guy. Effect, to add yourself a Chimera Fusion and a Gazelle. Now, if you've made it to this point, your opponent probably doesn't have any responses. Unless it's Nibiru. But guess what? This deck plays into Nibiru every time. We're already at 2 summons. You don't have to play into Chimera, but with the one card combo, you probably shouldn't. But it's still gonna be, just trust me, you're gonna want to play into Nibiru to get your best inboard. So depending on what you're playing against, we're gonna go ahead and do this no matter what though. So we're gonna fuse into our, and this is just off of one card. Don't be like, oh, well, I can hear you in the comments now, you should do this. Well, it depends on what's in your hand. But anyway, so we're going to have some triggers. So we're going to go chain 1 to special, chain 2 to add, chain 3 to rip. Because we want to block Ash Blossom. We want to block all that. They've probably already used Imperm or Ash by now. So in reverse order, we will special this back out. This is summon number 4. Then we will add ourselves, I like to add you can add the Nightmare Apprentice here if you want an extra body, but this is going to make you play in a nib. Or you can do the Diabelles, or if you want to get your targeting negation live, you can add the Codal. There's just a lot of different plays that you can do here. So depending what you're playing against, if you're playing against Tenpai, I like to prioritize the Diabelles on the field. That way they can't do their quick plays. And then if you just like, this is all you have, I like to go for Codal. That way you have a targeting negation up. So you have 2 negates, and then you have the Guardian Chimera play. So for this example, just because we can do it a little bit different, we'll go for Diabelle. So we're going to add back the Chimera Fusion. We're going to go ahead and activate the Chimera Fusion. Keep in mind, if you do this, you're not going to have the Guardian Chimera. So like I said, it's all matchup dependent. So we're going to bring out our buddy Baphomet. He is going to trigger his effect, dumping Tau effect to special summon this. So now we have an anti-spell fragrance. We have 1 monster negate live once this is in the grave. But keep in mind, this play is much stronger if you open Poly, if you open another Chimera Fusion, Branded Fusion. There's so many different ways. But like I said, normally I would go for the Guardian Chimera play going blind, because Diabelles is, but if you can get greedy and do the Diabelles and the Guardian Chimera, that's what you really want to do. But on their turn, you will go quick effect, and literally you're going to add all these resources right back. You're going to go Baphomet, effect to add. Add this. Now you have, you can play on their turn when it comes back around. Plus you have the anti-spell fragrance. You know, it's going to really make it hard for them to be able to play. So anyways, that's this combo. Let's jump into the Branded Fusion combo. Alright, 1 Branded Fusion. So we would activate Branded Fusion. You would want to send Gazelle. Sorry if you can't see the grave. And then Fallen of Albaz to bring out Renbrum. This card's so good. So we would now trigger the Gazelle to add trigger the Gazelle to add ourselves. I like to add a Codal here, because if they had Ash, they were going to use it by now. So I would activate Codal, then add the Mirror's Knight, just so you have all your bodies in the grave. So now we can normal summon Mirror's Knight. This will be in the grave. Okay, let me see if y'all can see my grave. Okay, Mirror's Knight effect. Now we're going to do basically the exact same inboard that we had before. And like I said, it just all depends on your hands. But most of the time we're going to go for this. Add Gazelle. Add Chimera Fusion. Activate Chimera Fusion. Fusing these two to go into our buddy Baphomet. So we've hand ripped them. Now we'll hand rip them. We'll go chain 1, chain 2 to hand rip. This is going to be special summoning back out off of Baphomet's effect. Sorry about the glare right there. Hopefully it ain't too bad. Can't get my lighting perfect. So now we're going to add this back, and this is where we would set this. I would prioritize, because we have this. We have a extra deck monster negate and bounce. We have this negate live. We have a targeting negation, and this one also, so it negates and returns, non-targeting returns. Then we have this leaves the field. We can bring some of our resources back. We can add something. We're going to be able to do the same thing next turn with this. Add resources back, and then after all that, we can go into Guardian Chimera if we see that we need that at any point. So this combo is just that much stronger because of Branded Fusion. So let me show you a 2-card combo. So activate Branded Fusion. We're going to send Albaz, and you probably already know where this is going. And we're going to send the Hex Sealed. Hex Sealed is going to go into Albion. Effect. Banish these right here for our Dragoon. And make sure you put it in your extra monster zone. So, but you don't have to put it in defense. I'm just putting it there for no reason. So you can see it. So Branded Fusion has resolved. Now we're going to normal summon Mirror's Knight effect. We're going to do all the same stuff. But now we're insulated under nib. Trigger that. We're going to add this. We're going to add this effect. Go ahead, go into this. Now we're insulated under nib. This, we're going to hand rip them. And plus we're going to make hand traps look stupid at this point. Now we're going to trigger these off. Special this, effect of that to add. I do like to also go for Codal here. You could go for Diabels also, but I would go for Codal. That way you have targeting negation live, plus you're going to add, in this case, I would add ourselves another beast. Just in case they clear some of this, that way we always have something live for Chimera Fusion. A beast or a fiend in hand. Because Chimera Fusion does have to use a beast or a fiend. So now we're going to add this back. Here's our hand. Now what you can do here is, well, I wouldn't do that with this hand. I'll show you in another combo. But anyway, you set this, you got this in hand. On their turn, you got a Dragoon Omni Negate. You're ripping a card in the end phase. You have a Monster Negate after this goes. You get all those resources again, like we've seen in the other combos. Dragoon is just so overwhelming. It's really hard to maneuver around Dragoon. Then plus on top of all that, you would have the Guardian Chimera play. Usually I would pop this and then pop the whatever we summoned off of this to make your Guardian Chimera, and then whatever's from hand. Then you get all these resources back again. It's crazy. So, alright, let me show y'all the last combo that I'm going to show y'all, and it's probably the more greedy one. And I'll show you why. Alright, let me show you this combo. This combo is actually pretty crazy. Like if this is all you open, let me show you where you can get with this. So we apprentice, dump this, chain 1, chain 2. That way you're blocking this. So even if they do ash that, it's not the end of the world, but let's just assume they don't. So we're gonna add ourselves a Fright for Patchwork, and we're gonna add ourselves a, I like to add Cornfield Codal. If you're worried about Droll here, you can go straight for Mirror Swords Knight, but it doesn't really matter because you're still in a bad position. Like Droll's really gonna suck here. So hopefully they don't Droll you. We lose the Droll and Nib. That's just, and we really don't lose the Nib. We just, it's not the greatest. So activate this. Go ahead and grab ourselves a Mirror Swords Knight. It don't matter what order you do this in. There's no like right or wrong order to do this in. So now we're gonna add the Fright for Patchwork. Activate that. Add ourselves another Edge Imp chain, and we're gonna add ourselves a Polymerization. So this is where the combo can get a little different, but I like to hold this in hand. So normal summon this, effect, bring out our old buddy, Baphomet, effect, add ourselves a Chimera Fusion and a Beast. So you're already seeing our hands getting pretty thick, and we've only used 2 cards, so we should have like 7 cards in hand. Now at this point you're going to use the Polymerization. You're going to use the Polymerization to fuse these 2. And we're going to go into our old pal, the Hand Ripper. Alright, so now we have some triggers. We're going to special back out Mirror Swords Knight, and we're going to add ourselves a Diabels. And this is where things get a little more interesting. So at this point, you can do a couple different ways. It's all about how you really want to interact, and depends on what you're playing against. And always special summon this in defense. Just side note, just don't play into stupid stuff. All right, Chimera Fusion. We're gonna fuse these 2, just for this purpose, because this can get us a plus next turn since we've already used it. So now we're gonna go into this guy. So we're gonna go effect to Foolish. We're gonna Foolish. Where's Master Tau? Master Tau the Enchanter. Effect is going to special summon back out this guy. Okay, so here's our inboard. We have Diabels. We have all of our negates live. We have Tau. We have Codal. All that. We're gonna go effect of Chimera Fusion to add back. Keep in mind we can do that. So now we have an anti-spell fragrance. We have a, and this is really good because they just set like 3 cards or something. You can just pop every single one of them because you can go into Guardian Chimera, but you would set this, and now also keep in mind you have this monster that can't be destroyed by battle. This monster can't be destroyed by battle, so they have to do something with those. You know, the Zelantis Banish, it doesn't get rid of them. They can put them in attack and just attack into them. But, you know, the goal would be not to let them get that far. Now, another little thing that would make this hand a little bit better is if we opened an extra one of these or another fusion. If we already opened like a poly or something, I'll show you. Well, you would have to go back, but one thing you can do is you can go ahead and fuse into these, like just fuse these 2. One monster from hand and one monster from the extra deck. Special from the extra deck and one monster in hand. And go into Magnum the Reliever. And let me straighten this up a little bit. So we would go effect, put our poly back. Now this play is only if you like have like a great hand, like you have some board breakers, some other stuff. You know, this is like just bonus. So then we draw into another card, which is unfortunately that card is like the worst draw, but whatever we draw into, it's not that bad. And then you would still have this, and the reason I did this is because in their draw phase, you can just banish this to special this right back out. Like in their draw phase. And keep in mind, you have this, so if they have thrust, like, it's not that big of a deal because you can just pop it, you know. And then you still have, I mean, you have other cards in your hand. Keep in mind, you have 3 other cards. I would only do that if I had another monster in hand. So, which we're going to get them anyways, because in draw phase, we're going to go Mirror Swords Knight. Bring back out this guy, add this. So at this point, you're going to have like, what, 3, 5, yeah, like 5 cards in hand. Yeah, and then you have like everything. So now you have a pop, you have a pop when they set, and you have an anti-spell fragrance, basically. You have monster negate, and then target negation off of these in the grave. And then you have your Guardian Chimera pledge follow-up, then whatever was in your hand. So, yeah. And I don't really want to get into any of the other combos because they're a little greedy. I mean, you're not always gonna open just a super cracked hand. But I will say, like, there was a hand where I opened like 3 of these and like 2 other cards, and I was still able to make stuff happen. You know, this deck just does a lot. It does a lot. But anyways, guys, I hope that helps some of y'all. If any of y'all been looking into playing this deck, some of the tips I would give you is definitely play the branded version. I know a lot of people are like wanting hand traps now, and another thing is people are cutting super poly. I think if you're playing a fusion deck, you should just play super poly. It's so good. You can fuse your own stuff. It can get you out of binds sometimes. And just, it can do a lot of things. The branded fusion, again, it's a starter. Plus it gets you an extra body on the board. Plus it's a starter. That's crazy. You know, and it also tests for Ash. Like, even if you activate this and then they Ash you, you're making them go -1, and then you're gonna rip them again. I mean, most likely you're gonna be able to rip again. They're gonna start off on 4 cards. They're gonna have to play through a negate and a Guardian Chimera at worst most times, and a lot of times decks just can't do that. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.